Heyo, your friendly neighborhood quarter guy here, and if you're wondering why I've got my Fire Emblem Z equipped today, because I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on the Fire Emblem Direct. Now, this is coming from someone who's not a huge fan of Fire Emblem, but appreciates it for what it is. I still have yet to finish Awakening, and that's honestly the first Fire Emblem game I could really get into. Not saying it's the best, I'm not even going to try to defend it as the best, but, well, the Fire Emblem Direct did have some interesting tidbits to share with us, and I'm going to offer my thoughts on each. First one is a remake of a game that never got released in America. The game is being called Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and one thing I noticed from the Direct was that, the way the game is playing out, it's combining the Fire Emblem classic formula with the exploration element of dungeons and towns, so that's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be nice to see how it works out and how the old NES formula is going to be updated for the modern handheld. I also like the dual protagonist designs. They look pretty good. And I just hope they don't try to shoehorn the whole marriage and baby system into the game, because considering it's a remake of an older game, it wouldn't fit. I just don't think it would fit. Okay. Next thing and I should also mention the the memes that kind of popped up with the name of the game being Echoes. I've heard jokes related to both Metroid and JoJo's. I honestly like the JoJo's one. Next thing to bring up is the fact that a new Fire Emblem game is coming to the Switch next year in 2018. Well, considering the technology to put it both on the TV and on the go, could be interesting to see how this one plays out. Hopefully it'll have a better story, something that isn't a jumbled mess, which some people accused Fates of being, understandably so. And then we got a extended trailer for Fire Emblem Warriors. Remember how in the Smash trailer where Lucina and Robin were revealed, Chrom said he'd get his chance another day? Well, it's another day. And of course, he was the first character to be formally revealed for the game. Not surprising at all, considering the popularity of Awakening. Despite the protests of the purists. Nintendo's trying to generate excitement for the game, and considering the popularity of Awakening and Fates, well, we're probably going to see quite a few characters from those games in there. Oh yeah, also it's going to be available on the new 3DS. On the one hand, it's nice that the new 3DS is finally getting another exclusive game, well, semi-exclusive game anyway, one that won't be on the regular 3DS. But at the same time, it's taken away from Switch exclusivity, which might hurt it a little. And then, what I'm pretty sure was the main point of the whole Direct. The big reveal of the Fire Emblem mobile game, Fire Emblem Heroes. On the one hand, it's like a bite-sized version of standard Fire Emblem gameplay. Small maps, small manageable teams, kind of the size you'd expect from mobile. And one thing that kind of worried me a little at first was the means of acquiring heroes. You acquire them at random by spending orbs. And yeah, if this sounds kind of like Final Fantasy All the Bravest, well, I can honestly see the comparison myself. Thankfully, you can acquire orbs from normal gameplay, so it's not as blatantly cash grabbing as All the Bravest was, especially considering that Heroes is free to start. Also, there's the means of upgrading heroes, so I guess you could compare it to something like Brave Frontier, I think it was called. Anyways, in the meantime, before the game's release in February, Nintendo's holding a vote for favorite heroes to be featured in a special event in the game, so it's going to be interesting to see what people want. I've already put in a vote for Donnell. Donnell, whatever. Alright. So, looks like Fire Emblem Heroes might be a game worth checking out. Anyways, on to updates. Still working on the QG Talks. And I'm actually thinking of future topics for QG Talks, which I might integrate into my normal schedule if this first one does well. Word of mouth will do good things for it. I'm thinking that I might do a video at some point regarding just how Vocaloids got the following that they have. Considering I've kind of become a fan of Vocaloid music, in case my previous stream wasn't any indication enough. Speaking of streams, Fightcade Mystery Box again next Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Central Time. And feel free to suggest games for that in the comments below. If you don't know what games are available on Fightcade, feel free to look it up. That'll be a good thing. Anyways, for my question of the week, do you have a favorite Fire Emblem character? As always, leave your answers in the comments. Favorite comments will be featured in the next episode. Here are last week's winners. And with that, time for the Fourth Wall Mailbag. As always, send me your questions via YouTube messages. Go to my channel, click the About tab, click the Send Message button, and I'll answer my favorite questions on the next episode. First question this week comes from Ludger's channel, who asks, who is your favorite Vocaloid? Well, while I'm normally a vanilla piece of shit, I mean, a lot of my favorite characters have been main protagonists, like Ragna, Heart, Zero. But, to be honest, my favorite Vocaloid is Megurine Luca. I mean, I like her design. Her voice samples sound really, really nice. And not... It's hard for me to really say it. I can't really... She sounds smoother? I guess you could say. One of my favorite songs using Luca was No Logic, which I first heard in Project Mirai DX. Funny story, actually. I actually met the voice actress who provided the voice samples for Luca one year at a convention. It was a pretty neat experience. Next question comes from Omar Miguel Dizon, who asks, do you think KOF 14's Shune is ripping off Josuke's Crazy Diamond beatdown? Yeah, at first I was going to say something along the lines of, not everything is a friggin' JoJo reference, but, when I went to check the climax move for Shune, and listening to it and watching it, the resemblance is just so uncanny. I mean, the spectral fists, the it could be just coincidence, but who knows? Next question comes from Cobalt Gale, who asks, what are your thoughts on Arcana Heart 4? Anything you're hoping for in particular when it comes to that game? Well, to be honest, I'm glad there's just going to be a new Arcana Heart game. I mean, Arcana Heart, for me, is one of those underappreciated series that goes under the radar for reasons. But I'm glad we're getting a new game. I'm looking forward to seeing what new characters will be introduced and how the system will be refined. It'd be nice if we could get at least a few male characters, like I've stated before. One thing I've read is that the Arcana Heart production team is actually looking for input from Western gamers as well as Japanese gamers to hopefully to make the series a bit more appealing to Western audiences. The first question that they asked was whether or not to get rid of the homing system. The overwhelming majority of people who responded said no. And to be honest, I'm not surprised, because it's kind of part of the fabric of the game, so getting rid of it kind of takes away one of the things that makes the game unique. Other questions are being asked, including stuff related to character designs. Can't imagine why, #end sarcasm. I'm just looking forward to the game being good. Something to be enjoyable, and hopefully something to get it more recognition. Let's hope. Next question comes from Brendan Wright, who asks, what are your thoughts on the Uncharted series? Well, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played Uncharted yet, as in I haven't played any of them. I don't know, it just hasn't really appealed to me for some reason. Maybe it's because it's been kind of gritty and that kind of game just doesn't appeal to me. If you like it, you like it. Well, it just doesn't appeal to me. Though, I might try it at some point. Though if I do, I'd probably start with the remastered versions, because I hear because I hear the remastered versions fixed some of the issues with the original versions. Add to that the fact that I'm not really that good at shooters anyway, so there's that. Last question this week comes from Aubrey Westthusing, who asks, is there anything you want to see in No More Heroes 3 since it's pretty much been confirmed? Well, not making the final boss bad on purpose would be nice.